What's up, guys? In this video, we have to state the restrictions for each of these four expressions below. So starting off with number one, we got 18n to the 5 over 27n squared. Now, whenever we have rational expressions like this, whether we're multiplying, whether we're adding, subtracting, dividing, general steps are you factor first and then you state the restrictions. So notice here, everything is factored. You can't factor either the numerator or denominator further. So now you look for when does the denominator equal 0. Well, that would happen when n is equal to 0, which means n cannot be 0. That's the restriction. Because if n is 0, denominator is 0, you can't be dividing by 0. So that's the answer for number one. Number two, we got 3 over x squared minus 1. We got to factor the denominator. That's a difference of squares. And then from there, we can tell x cannot equal what? Plus or minus 1. Two restrictions, because either or would make the denominator 0. What about number 3? Well, notice in number 3, everything is factored. Numerator is factored already. Denominator, you can't factor further. And notice there's no variable in the denominator. So in this case, there are no restrictions, because the denominator can never be 0. It's always going to equal 5. So really, x can be anything, because the numerator can be anything. The numerator could be 0, because 0 divided by 5 would give you 0. But if it was like 5 divided by 0, that would be undefined. So you only care when the denominator is equal to 0. Unless you're dividing by a rational expression. Then the rational expression you're dividing by, you got to look at the numerator and the denominator. So in number 3, there are no restrictions. What about number 4? Everything is factored already, and then the restrictions would come from these two expressions. So 2m plus 3 cannot equal 0, which means m cannot equal negative 3 over 2. And then here, m minus 2 cannot equal 0, which means m cannot equal positive 2. Those are the two restrictions for number 4.